So, if you've ever listened to the show over the years and thought that guy's a total idiot, I can't stand him. I'm here to say you're correct. I'm a complete idiot. Do you know what I did, AJ? Actually, you know, pretend
I
like you don't.
know, but no. What did you do, Leland?
So I had booked Tina Payne to be on the show today. She's got the Blue Light Art Special, which I'm about to tell you all about this weekend. She always comes on with us, and she's so sweet to spend time with us. So I was trying to save her some driving, and I said, well, let's just do it at my home studio because it's closer to her studio where she does her pottery, right?
Right.
Over across the mountain in Leeds. She's not too far from me. So I thought that'd be better for her. I'd love to have her over at the house. And then this week, we decided to do all our shows in the main studio because we're testing out some new equipment. So I just completely forgot that I booked Tina to be at the house.
That's funny.
And so she sends me a text. It's a text me when you get here, and I'll let you in. And so she texts me, and I'm thinking she's downstairs. I'm walking around there going, where is she? And I'm texting her, and she's sitting in my driveway. She can't get in the house.
That's funny.
She was hanging out at my house, and there's nobody there to. Normally, I'd have the equipment hooked up to where if someone were home, they could just turn it on, and I could talk to her from my own studio. But we're going to reschedule. She's going to come in tomorrow. I think she's doing a couple other shows tomorrow here too. So, Tina, I am so sorry. She's the best. She's such a sweet lady, and I owe her one. I don't know what I can do to make up for it.
Buy more. You know what?
Buy more pottery.
Yeah, buy a couple of those soup bowls.
Yep, no doubt. I need to contribute to the cause. But no, Tina will be on tomorrow. For those of you that are looking forward to that, it's my fault. I totally misscheduled and crisscrossed my location. That's what happens when I'm a nomad, and I bounce from studio to studio sometimes. Yeah, we're working on something new that'll soon be launched, and we'll be able to test. But we've got it involves cameras and you guys being able to watch the shows, and so we're coming in to be able to test that and work out the kinks this week. I think the professional people call it beta testing.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sort of beta testing the system, so I needed to be in here every day for AJ to get some good practice. But she will be here with us tomorrow, so that'll be fun. It'll be earlier in the show, though, so if you're 5 o'clock listener, y'all listen in at 2, and we'll talk to Tina. Let me tell you about what they're doing and get you all revved up for that, because it really is a unique thing. It's one of the nicest sort of Christmas-oriented events that I thoroughly enjoy. I would be there Saturday, but I'm booked to go see my new grandbaby in New York, so I've got to do some travel this weekend. But this is Tina calls it the Blue Light Art Show. And what she does is she goes to so much trouble to take her Earthborn Pottery Studios and just blow everything out. Like, she moves so much equipment. It's really a little factory over there where they make some of the most beautiful earthenware on planet Earth and ship it to fine restaurants all over the world. And she's an artist, but she also has a lot of production. But she goes to the trouble to move all that stuff, clean the place up, and set it up for booths. And then her fellow artists come in with the things they've been working on during the year. Some of it first runs, but some of it little imperfections and things where you would never be able to find what the artist doesn't like about the piece. But artists are persnickety about their work. And so they'll collect things that they make, whether they're paint or do glass work or leather work. They'll collect these things over the year that they're not going to sell to their other vendors or whatnot. And then they just put them on sale at Christmas. She creates the space, Tina does, at Earthborn over in Leeds. And then these artists come in and set up their booths, and they put this stuff. Some of it's discounted up to 80% off. So here's what you're going to get. You're going to get handmade stuff made by, and I love handmade stuff. Things made by artists from all around here that are part of that whole community, and really creative stuff, cool gift-giving ideas, stuff you're just not going to find in generic stores and corporate stores and on Amazon. And you can touch it, feel it, hold it, meet the artists, talk to them about their crafts, and get good deals at the same time. And it's an event within an event. Tina always uses it as an opportunity to raise money for some of her favorite causes. And those have generally been always the First Light Women's Shelter, and then, of course, the Well House. So here's how that works. This is the charity part of it. For a suggested donation of $25, and you can give more if you want to help these causes. They're going to have, they usually have some of the high-end chefs, and I forget who it is this year, will come in and cook and cook this amazing soup. Saturday's going to be a nice cold day for soup, and you'll get a lunch, and you get to keep one of the Earthborn bowls that the lunch is. Actually, they don't put the lunch in that bowl. I used to think they did that. I thought, might have to go home with a nasty bowl. No, Tina just gives you a bowl to keep for your collection, and then you can enjoy the soup lunch. It smells so good in there too. And then, of course, your donation, the money, all that's contributed. So your money goes to First Light Women's Shelter, the Empty Bowls campaign. It's a hunger prevention campaign, and the Well House. They split up the proceeds, and that is nice. Also, they have a entry fee of $2. That just helps them be able to raise more money, and that is, you can't go anywhere for $2 anymore. You can't even get a gallon of gas for $2. So for $2, you pay at the door and go on in and shop till you drop. Here's my advice, though. They open the doors at 9 o'clock on Saturday. Again, this is over in Leeds, right there on 78, before you get to downtown, kind of between, I guess you'd say between Buc-ee's and downtown Leeds. Your GPS knows exactly where it is. So get there early, one, for parking, because this is such a popular event every year. And people just line up. Years past, they've been lined up in the rain because we always had a lot of rain on some of these blue light days. And it really gets Christmas off to a great start. So you get to meet your neighbors, see some beautiful artwork, help a couple of charities, see all Tina's stuff. It really is a special event. I think the world of it. My family heritage on my mom's side goes back into the pottery business to the Civil War. So Tina and I always have that connection when we talk about what she does. And so go and see them Saturday. Here's the advice. Get there early, because when the doors open at 9, there's a line. People are trying to get first pickings of some of the beautiful stuff that's in there. And but they manage it pretty well. So even if you can't get there Saturday and you want to go on Sunday, doors open at 11 on Sunday. They close at 4 both days. So they're still around sort of finishing up and wrapping up what they have left. You're going to get a deal. You're going to get something custom and beautiful. You're going to help out some charity, meet your neighbors, and it is such a fine event. And I am so sorry I didn't have Tina in here today. Edgy, I feel small right now.
Oh, man.
I'm brain dead.
You know what? Hey, it happens to the best of us sometimes. Why do I feel like I sound like RFK right now?
You don't. You sound like
You sound like RFK.
You sound like an old lady that smokes too much. You sound a little bit like Liberty Bell from back in the day.
Bro, why are you trying to play me like
I'm just
that?
seeing if I can get a rise out of you. By the way, another one of my favorite parts, my friend Marty Duncan, who helped us with our Thanksgiving and holiday shows. Y'all all know Marty. Big friend of the show. We've had her on for years. Marty's going to make a celebrity appearance. She's bringing her books. People clamor over those books. And so she'll have her books. She'll be there to autograph them. She and Tina know each other really well. It's just this world of people that are really cool. So y'all go see Marty Duncan too. Going to be a fun weekend. All right, here we go. Do we want to go back to some macho stuff now that I've talked about art for a while?
I don't know. You said I sound like Liberty Bell, so I don't know if we will talk about it.
You are sounding worse by the minute. I mean, you are losing. You are getting hoarse. I'm going to make you keep talking to see how bad it gets. I'm just kidding. Rest your voice. So we seized a tanker today with the United States military, and it's pretty dramatic. The video, I've been talking about it almost the whole show. The video we've now confirmed was released by the Defense Department, and it is our guys. I'm gonna guess these are Navy SEALs. I can't confirm that. I'm just looking at video and going 100 miles an hour. The United States Navy rappelled down off some helicopters. We went after this big old oil tanker with helicopters. They rappelled down onto the surface of the ship and then took the whole thing over. Just went in. I didn't see any shots fired, but they took over the ship. Apparently, it has to do with this ship had been sanctioned itself. It had been used for a lot of illicit, banned oil activity with sanctions on both Iran and Venezuela for their oil industries. And this one tanker that was flagged out of Venezuela means it's a Venezuelan-based ship. Venezuela was using it to transport oil all over the world in defiance of the sanctions. So what did we do? Seize the ship. That also adds more pressure to Maduro. It interrupts any of his commerce. This is an out-and-out active military kinetic campaign to pressure Maduro out of the way, and it was fun to watch, absolutely fun to watch. So you're going to be hearing a lot about that. We haven't seen any further news conferences. The president spoke briefly about it earlier today at a big news conference and a roundtable meeting, and, of course, Pam Bondi just put a statement out about it, about the international sanctions. So in a lot of ways, I guess you would consider this a law enforcement type action using the military, not just At first I was speculating my face off that perhaps they were moving narcotics on these boats, but it was just even bigger than that. It was even more international than that. So we're keeping an eye on that this afternoon to see if there anything else develops from any of the federal agencies. And all the major news networks have now picked up on it and verified this video, and they're showing it all over the TV. This is some. It looks like a movie. It looks like a Tom Clancy movie, and how aggressive they were getting off those. And look, it's dangerous. They're on a moving ship. You don't know what you're facing on the other side. Are these just a bunch of poor slobs sent out by Venezuela running the ship, or are these people armed, or because of the tensions between the countries and the Navy being present? I'm sure there'll be quite a reaction to this from all sides. If Trump called a news conference and started pooping gold bricks and handing them out to people, the left would have a problem with it. So we'll see what their ridiculous reaction will be later today. So the pressure on Venezuela continues, and that's been a pretty big story. One other story that has been in the news as well since about 1 o'clock this afternoon is the Federal Reserve decided to drop the prime target rate by a quarter point. It is now around 3.5. That's going to lower interest rates on a lot of consumer purchases, particularly home mortgages, and of course, automobiles and other things that we use credit for. It's not as big as what Trump wants. It's probably not enough, and it's still too late, but something's better than nothing. The markets tended to like the news today. What they were listening for, I think the rate drop was anticipated. The Fed is out of excuses. They had to at least do a quarter point. I think one of the board members, it was a 9-3 vote, and one of the board members wanted a half point, but they're not there yet with the board, especially with Jerome Powell steering things. But I think Wall Street was reading between the lines and trying to anticipate, did they signal more rate cuts? And it seemed like they said that. Maybe not sooner rather than later, but the Fed clearly realizes that we're a little bit behind the curve and becoming less competitive because we need to do more of these cuts. And I would suspect that means you're going to see one again in the next meeting as well. But that's probably the last one for the year, and at least we got that. So that did make headlines today, and, of course, the market's finished in the green as we head toward the end of 2025. Distinctive Pools bringing you the show today. Speaking of financing, some of y'all would need to finance a project of that size. My man Gary Levesque does have finance companies lined up ready to help you do just that if you're ready to do a pool project this year. You've still got some time. It's 10, 15 days till Christmas. Get the team at Distinctive Pools involved. They might be able to work you up an estimate, get you a budget framework for the kind of project you want to do, and maybe give you the confidence to announce it to your family. At some point, they need a little more time than that, but they work quickly. And this is a good time of the year to do the projects. I mean, people are using their pools all year now because they're just turning them into outdoor living spaces. But with the cold weather settling in, a lot of folks like to do the digging and make the mess and get all that done during the winter months. So it's good to go for spring. Now's the time to get the budget, get the plan, start drawing stuff, and figuring out what you want to do with it. And let Gary and his team be the company that does it. Gary himself personally has 40 plus years now. Technically, you could say he's in his 5th decade of pool building and hardscape building. So this is a company you can trust. He's got a remarkable team around him. Look at some of the examples of what they build and how they build it, and you'll grow in confidence that when you're done, family's going to love it. DistinctivePools.com. DistinctivePools.com. Man, I had no idea until we put a camera in here how much I had Bob during the music segments. Because the monitor's staring me back in the face. I'm over here just grooving. Can people actually hear the music at the same time, or do they just think I've got
there's
kind of chronic disease?
Yeah, they just see you and just think like, okay, he's not saying anything.
He's got a nervous tick. Something's wrong with him. Dude, all right, so here we go. Let's first talk about Burton Campers, and then I got to talk about, we got an update on the Venezuelan situation. This is all more fascinating by the minute. Burton Campers, of course, bringing you the show tonight. And this is one of my favorite things to talk about because it's about getting out there in the world, going camping. And I've, for years, told the audience, and I mean this so sincerely, it's not just the camper and the way you set it up and all the stuff you have to learn. That's part of it, and those things are nice, but it is the time you spend with your crew. Even nowadays, I think even more so than years ago when my sons were teenagers, and I'd force them to go on these campouts, and they'd groan until they got there, and then we made memories that we still talk about to this day. They weren't even as challenged then with all the tech and the noise, the non-stop stuff in our lives that just distract us, even from each other. We're in the same room nowadays as a family a lot of times, most of us. Everybody's on their things. Everybody's doing their thing. We're all walled off and sitting 2 feet from each other. Turn that off and get out there. There's a beautiful world out there. We live in a beautiful country. We live in a beautiful part of this beautiful country that's easy to see and easy to get to. It's so economical when you have your own camper to just load up and go. It's your stuff. Bring the pets. Bring what you want. Bring your things. There are no restrictions. And hit the road. There's nothing like a road trip. And you can also make this big announcement to your family, too, if you're ready to make a big splash this year and start reaching out with Burton and figuring it out. Several days to go before Christmas. They probably got one that fits your budget and your size needs. That kind of comes down to the kind of vehicle you're going to use to tow it. If you got a smaller vehicle, you're going to need a smaller camper. If you got a big truck, you might want to get a big fifth wheel and anything in between. They can completely get you fixed up with your style, your color, your budget, your financing, all that stuff. With a family that's been doing it now in their 50th year. By next year, it'll be their 51st year with a brand new location. I still call it new because this is their first year in Jasper. So you're not having to drive. If you're north of town, you don't have to drive through all the Birmingham traffic to get to Calera. You can go shop at Burton in Jasper as well. Great family, great products, good service. 11 service bays down in Calera. I haven't counted them in the Jasper location yet, but with seasoned veteran techs that can fix, upgrade, adapt, whatever it is you want done at their service base. So look out for that too. Some people, if you're getting ready to do some winterization, some folks would rather have the pros handle that. Take it on by there, and they'll knock it out for you before the cold snap hits. BurtonCampers.com online, BurtonCampers.com. All right, we got a new twist on the Venezuelan story. Listen to this. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that before we seized the tanker, that United States managed to sneak out the Venezuelan opposition leader. I just spoke about her a little while ago. Maria Corina Machado is her name. She's a remarkable woman if you've ever heard her speak. This woman is standing up for the freedom of her people and independence. She's trying to fight the commies. And, of course, the Trump regime is aligned with her in that effort. She won the Nobel Peace Prize for her work in that country. It's amazing she's still alive. And so ahead of the oil tanker seizure, we got somehow a covert operation and smuggled her out of the country and got her on a boat and got her out of Venezuela. Now, what does that tell you? It seems to be that we've got further action. Trump hinted at it today that there'd be other things to happen. Maybe this is what he was talking about. But it's important, if you're going to force a regime change in a country like this, it's important you have a plan, or otherwise the place descends into chaos. If she's the natural leader to take the place of Maduro, you got to protect her. You got to keep her safe until the upheaval happens, and then you can let her freely go back home as a champion to her people and try to save that beautiful country that used to be one of the richest countries in the world, and especially here in our hemisphere. So that's dramatic. So a lot of dramatic moves, and it seems to pretend that there's more coming. I mean, do y'all get that sense? I'm not saying we're going to war with Venezuela. I don't think it's going to take a war to finally get Maduro out, but these kind of actions start taking away some of his options. You see what I mean? If we have cut off the narco traffic and he's losing revenue there, he's getting sideways with the drug cartels. Now we're taking away some of his oil shipping around the sanctions possibilities with the seizure of the ship. It was apparently loaded with Venezuelan oil. Then, of course, you've got one of the cards he could have played was, of course, jail the opposition leader to keep her from being able to lead any kind of uprising. Well, now we've gotten her to safety. It could also mean that we're going in and we're trying to limit liabilities ahead of some kind of kinetic action. There is a massive amount of military traffic in the area. And I'm telling you all, I've said it over and over as we've covered this story for the last several days. This is not just about the drug dealing. This is not just about the narco terrorism. This is a global, we're playing global chess right now as countries around the world are aligning themselves economically, militarily, and in other ways. And we're trying to protect this hemisphere by protecting against what we used to call during the Cold War. Remember the domino theory that as these countries fall to communism, our standoff with the Soviets got disproportional. So we're always trying to head off their influence. In Cuba, in Honduras, and Nicaragua, over the years, we even had to invade Grenada one time. That was a whole different situation, but it was about us being the big, fat, fuzzy, big daddy gorilla over here in the Western Hemisphere, and this is our hemisphere. This is our neighborhood. We're going to protect those interests. There are a lot of rogue nations that have played around. Venezuela has been a beachhead for them for a long time. We're taking this off the chessboard by getting rid of Maduro and, of course, siding with the free people of Venezuela. This is fascinating. And by the way, as it plays on the American soil with particularly people that are Cuban, Colombian, Venezuelan, there's huge support for this. They hate Maduro. They want him out. They want their countries back, like most of us would. This is fascinating. All right, bottom of the hour, back in a minute, Leland Live. All right, y'all, 5:35. We're getting ready to wrap things up here on the big show. Stockton Mortgage ready to help you out with your mortgage concerns. We had that interest rate drop today. That's improved things a little bit. That could be the difference for some of you in a mortgage payment or not, or in a making a deal or not. I do say this, it's getting the current rate a lot closer to some of the rates you may have locked in on in the past. There's some of you that maybe got in at 3 or 4%. And as those rates perhaps in the coming days come down below 6, now the gap isn't so severe. It's not such a shock. And then you take into account perhaps the other credit that you have. And when you've got those cards that are at 20 and 25, and I've seen them at 29, 30%, good Lord. You take the average of all your rates. Now it's starting to look better. Maybe the incentive now is there with the rate drop to go ahead and make a move. Thomas is on with us now from Stockton Mortgage, savewithstockton.com. Savewithstockton.com. Thomas, how's it going tonight? What do y'all think about the rate drop? Good stuff, Thomas. We'll chat with you tomorrow, my friend. There's Thomas tonight. SaveWithStockton.com. Y'all check that out. All right. 545-9950 is the phone number. If y'all want to get in on the show, bring it. We will take your calls and comments as we're continuing to. I've been a little bit obsessed in tracking this Venezuelan situation. So things are happening now in the region. And if you just tuned in, we seized a giant oil tanker. The presumption was that it was being used to support the terrorism operations. So we're tying both the narco boats and the oil tanker to terrorism, which is a fascinating take. And so apparently the feds actually issued a warrant for this oil tanker and then used our military guys to execute that mission. And I'm sure there'll be some more operational details. We haven't seen anything this afternoon. Usually they'd be news conferences and whatnot. But we'll have some operational details coming in. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll learn some more of the mechanics of how that operation played out and who did it, when was it executed, and where's the ship, and what are we going to do with the oil? There's so many more questions than answers. Then, of course, the story we just told you about, the Wall Street Journal reporting tonight, that we smuggled out the main opposition leader, probably to keep her in a safe place while whatever's about to go down goes down. By the way, the reason we mentioned her before that was because she had declined an offer to go to actually personally received the Nobel Peace Prize that she was awarded for her work in Venezuela. And she put out a very self-deprecating statement saying this is not the time. It could be because she was obviously aware of this operation to get her out of the country. That may have just been a big distraction. And I could see with her people being in harm's way because as Maduro gets more and more cornered, there's no telling what he'll do to react to the people of that country. It's no time for her to be taking peace prizes and being in that spotlight as all this seems to be going down. By the way, I guess it does bear repeating too. The United States House just passed a $900 billion National Defense Authorization Act. Good Lord. I'm all about supporting defense, but look at how much money we're spending. And y'all, we're spending more than that on some of the social programs, especially the ones that were being ripped off from the taxpayers of this country by the foreigners and, of course, good old American corruption. But the bill passed, and this is just an inside peek. The bill passed 312 to 112 in the House. That means massive bipartisan support. In these times, when you can't get the Republicans and the Democrats to agree whether or not the sun is shining, suddenly you got a bill that goes 312 to 112. What does that tell you? Anybody? Class? Y'all paying attention? Tells me everybody's got a little piece of the pie. It's business as usual in the House with this defense bill. I'm sure there's some very legitimate spending in there, and I guarantee you there's a lot for the state of Alabama. But the way they do the defense bills nowadays is everybody gets a little piece of something for their home district or their home base, and you do that to buy votes, to get enough votes to get the bill through, and then it just drives up the cost, creates I'll say this, a $900 billion program is no one's going to monitor that. We're not going to know where that money went for years. And some of it, like I said, will be in defense of the world and support missions like the one we conducted today. Others of it will go straight down a rat hole or to somebody's inside bid contract for some defense stuff. That is massive. We're almost spending $1 trillion on our defense bill. Now, some of that, I understand Trump's got some big ticket items. We're trying to rebuild our Navy fleet that is woefully behind. We've got operational systems that have been bugged and plagued with problems, and we're trying to bring on some new generation war fighting aircraft and some other stuff. And I know there's probably details in there that I'm not aware of. But to me, that number's stunning. You know, I remember when we never said trillion. We didn't have $1 trillion budget. We didn't have $1 trillion debt. The T word wasn't even imaginable. I mean, when you were talking in billions, that was an unfathomable number. And now we talk about billions like we're talking about $100 bills. And even the defense budget is pushing $1 trillion. And you can extrapolate from there. If we got $900 billion in there this year, next year it'll be $1 trillion. That's amazing to me. That's a lot of money. Y'all know how much money that is? If you stack those bills up, there are examples of that all over the internet where they make a physical example of what $1 trillion represents. And, of course, we're $38 trillion in debt, so there's that. And Social Security's going broke, so good luck, y'all. Oh, man, let me save you some money on your own budget at home with Gutter Cap. They've got their deal going through Christmas, and, boy, it's worth it. Let me talk for a minute. We're at the end of, for the most part, we're at the end of leaf season. I'm still seeing a few of them fall out there, and I've got a yard full of trees, just literally thousands of trees, and it's a big old thing every year to get the leaves all rounded up and get them out of the way. And if you've got gutters and they're all packed out from this most recent season, it's time to go ahead and clean that out before the wintertime and all the rains from the winter. That water needs to move away from your house. It needs to hit those gutters off that roof and channel away, or you end up with all kinds of issues, and you don't want to deal with that. So if you call Gutter Cap, take advantage of their deal. Their deal right now is 45% off their retail prices. That's amazing. And they'll do that through Christmas, they're telling me. So you got a few more weeks to go ahead and get them out. Their system works. It is patented. It's an all-aluminum system, and it really does do its job year after year. The materials hold up to the elements, the one-piece concept where they make each section out of one long piece. They actually custom make it right there on site. You're not dealing with gaps and seams and things that can go wrong. They're trying to eliminate trouble. And that's why it's a patented system. That's why they can stand behind their product the way they do. This is the system everybody else is trying to imitate. Right now, 45% off their retail price if you get them out. And when they come out, they're going to clean that mess out of the ones you have now, so you're not paying somebody else to do that. Straighten everything out. Make sure your current gutter system is working. Then cover it with their system. You don't have to think about it anymore. It's over. Your house is protected, and you're not up there trying to clean them out. Take advantage of it while you can. 45% off retail at Gutter Cap Birmingham. Gutter Cap Birmingham. Go to guttercapbirmingham.com. guttercapbirmingham.com. If you want some gold jingling in your pocket, there's a segue. A little jingling, jingling in your pocket with gold, silver, or platinum. I'm going to send you right over to Alabama Gold Refinery. You know, this is a wonderful shop. It's good to have an expert place, somebody like Steve that can walk you through all these commodities purchases and everything that's associated with it. Man, gold has just been on a run right now. And I've ignored silver because, the gold number is eye popping. It's staying above 4,000, actually staying above 4,200 for days. Let me pull it up real quick and see what happened today. Because the stock market took off, and I thought, well, what's going to happen to gold? 4,257, approaching breaking territories. A lot of people believe gold's going to 5,000. Whatever the value, whether it's $2 or $5,000, gold keeps the same real world value and tracks against all the inflationary things, the stuff that government does, all of these things. And then it has for thousands of years. Now, let's talk about selling. If you're a seller and you've got scrap or you've got something you'd like to cash in right now for Christmas, good times to do it. I've said it over and over. You got a couple of ounces of gold in your jewelry box somewhere, old stuff you don't wear or need anymore. That could be 8-10 grand worth of stuff right there. So take it to a safe place. They've got all the security you would expect. They're fair on their offers to you, and they'll trade with you. He'll trade you gold for gold. Say you want to get it in a different form, they'll do that. And, of course, they'll sell you what you want or buy what you want, what you need. And back to silver for a minute, more and more of my listeners that trade in silver are talking about it's been on a run lately. I saw a report yesterday that had shot up $60 just out of nowhere. And I don't know over what time span that was. But our buddy Jimmy that calls the show sometimes saw him at Allen and Company the other day, and he was saying that he's up 120 something percent since he bought his silver. So silver, same thing. All these commodities in times like these, good investments, smart for emergencies or inflation, and just kind of fun too. It's a fun shop to visit with all the things that they have at AGR, Alabama Gold Refinery, alabamagoldrefinery.com. Let me do some more on this Erica Kirk thing. She's on a publicity tour. Charlie Kirk had worked on a book and was just about done with it. It was supposed to come out now about the Sabbath. He had gotten into worshiping on the Sabbath and setting aside his life on the Sabbath. And he had written a whole book about the meaning of that and what it does to transform you. And so they've finally been able to get the book out and publish. And who better to go out and promote it than, of course, his widow, Erica Kirk. So she's definitely making the media rounds. And it got testy and emotional today. We got two clips. I think we got time to get both of them in here. Now, look, I've got people that say they don't like her. They feel like she's phony. There's something about the way she presents herself they don't trust. And, you do you, boo. You read body language how you want. Look, I would say this. She's a pageant girl. She knows how to present. It's because she kind of comes across as super professional, almost like a news commentator. But she's in that world. That's where she's from. I give her a lot of grace because her husband was murdered. Call me wrong for that, but the man was assassinated in front of all of us. And so you got these goofy conspiracy theories and other stuff. She's spoken to some of that today for the first time. She's tried to maintain some dignity and stay above all that stuff because it's just noise from losers online. But, AJ, we'll do it in reverse. We'll do the one I just sent you first. And I think this was CBS. Who was the interviewer here? I think it was a CBS interview.
Yeah, it was CBS.
This woman, they're so snaky. It's like that Sydney Sweeney chick that interviewed her with that sneer, trying to get her to apologize. So this woman actually asked her a question about people that think her husband had it coming. Now, she's not wrong. There was that atmosphere. There were some people that are so left in their politics and lacking in human decency that a guy can be murdered, and this is how the sentence went. Y'all remember this after? I had people close to me in my life that would say this. Well, I'm not saying, nobody should be shot for their viewpoints, but then they'd go on to impugn the reputation of Charlie Kirk. There's no need to add that second part. Dude was shot because of his thoughts. No matter what his thoughts, he was murdered. And this is the woman, of all the people that felt lost in that, even people that didn't follow Charlie Kirk felt some remorse about where our country had stooped in that moment. But of all the people that suffered the loss, it's her. I mean, she's the widow. Her husband's gone. She's got these two kids. Yeah, the board voted to put her in charge, but would you want that burden? Would you rather have your husband? She comes across to me as somebody who'd rather have her husband back. But yet she's got to deal with these sneering reporters. And this idiot at CBS actually asked her that question. Here's how it went. One of the best comparisons I can come up with, and this happened after Charlie Kirk was murdered. You think about political assassinations of thought leaders, and the first person that comes to mind in my mind is not President Kennedy. He was also elected. It's Martin Luther King. He wasn't elected to anything, but he led with his convictions and used his Christianity as his moral justification for the things he believed. And yes, was wildly controversial. Can you imagine a reporter asking Coretta Scott King in an interview, "Well, some people say he had it coming. What do you say to that?" Would that have been appropriate? It's kind of this tacit acknowledgement that, well, people and reporters do this all the time. They'll always say, "Critics say," and it's really their own thoughts, or some would say, or your opponents believe. And what do you say? Now, granted, she got the reaction she wanted because that's a hot clip. It's all over the internet. It's her instantly breaking down, thinking about her kids and what had just happened. So, man. So then there was this take. It was on Harris Faulkner's show on Fox, where she had enough. This was directed largely at the conspiracy theories coming from the clickbait queen, Candace Owens, who has lost her freaking mind. Take a listen to this reaction. So, in this internet voyeuristic world that we've created with social media, and we talked about this at the very beginning of the show, people largely believe that's directed at this Candace Owens, who is she's blamed Charlie Kirk on the French, on the Jews, on Turning Point itself, on members of the Trump administration. She keeps coming up with different theories about who did it. And so, how did she react to this? They say she's still doing it this afternoon. I don't even know when or what her show does. I've never seen her show. I used to like her, really did. She was sharp, quick, but she has gone into that attention-seeking zone that people start to lose their minds to. I think there's a dopamine hit with all this attention, and there's money involved in it too. And it's sick. All of it's sick. Y'all can pick whoever you want to believe. I just think picking on the widow and constantly questioning this stuff and creating conspiracy theories where there is none. Here's what I'm grateful for. I think there's going to be a trial of this shooter, and we're going to see evidence. We're going to see what's available, what the authorities know that they can't tell us right now. And maybe it'll shut people up. Most likely they won't. They'll move to another thing that gets themselves attention. They'll move to another conspiracy theory or controversy somewhere else about something else and try to memory hold this and pretend they didn't do any of this insidious stuff. We live in a coarse, dark, ridiculous world full of stupid, stupid people. And I'm about ready to go Amish. I think I'm going to put some overalls on and move to, where's the closest Amish community, AJ?
I believe somewhere like in Ohio.
Tennessee. There's some up in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Changed my name
And
to
the Mennonites.
Welcome to Jebediah Live. I'm done.
All right, stay tuned for Break a Break. Coming up next. Goodbye, AJ. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Welcome into Breaking Bread. Will had just brought in, I don't know exactly what this is. And excuse the voice because I'm kind of losing my voice right now. But, it's all because of the weather. And I was, this past weekend, I was just out all day pretty much in this weather. And it's finally catching up with me. So, yeah, you're probably going to get this for a couple of days. But anyway, welcome into Breaking Bread, 205-545-9950 with the Taste Buds. JD, Will, and yours truly. And it smells delightful, as I was trying to allude to as we started the show. I'm not exactly sure what Will has brought in, but whatever it is, he brought me some, and then luckily Leland is still here working on some stuff, and he brought some stuff for Leland. So what is it that you brought us, Will?
Little chicken and sausage gumbo.
Ooh. Well, I see the roux is the right color.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it wasn't going to be the right color.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying?
sure.
It's not like the thing that we might play a little bit later, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. We man, we just it's colder outside.
Yeah.
And we're always looking for, we're constantly looking for new things to do, that are both delicious and the margins are pretty solid.
Yeah.
And so we've been running shrimp and grits on Friday for a minute as part of the meat and menu. And we've done some other soups and whatnot. And today I just got a wild hair, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and throw together some gumbo base. And we're going to run this gumbo special on the meat and on Friday. So you'll be able to get the chicken and sausage gumbo over rice with 2 other sides for $13 with your drink and your $13.
Can I just say it's good to know friends in the restaurant business? I mean, can I just say that?
For sure.
Because
For sure.
when you're trying something new, right, and you're expanding the menu, I get to be one of the honorary taste testers.
Certainly.
And it's been a treat. I've been, now it kills my diet sometimes. I'll be like, oh, I'm working out and watching what I eat. And here comes Will, like, hey man, I just made the fattest, greasiest, sloppy, delicious, heavily seasoned to perfection concoction, and I want you to try it. And I can't turn it down.
No, you
I don't
can't.
want to be rude and be like,
I'll be offended.
right. Because I'm like, yes, the fat boy in me is like, yes.
I mean, you and JD, pretty much anything that I'm like, hey, will you guys try this for me? I know that you guys will give me an honest opinion. And, we're not new to gumbo at Chub Fathers. It's just been several years since we did it. And I think one of the things that separates us a little bit, and, you can go tit for tat about it however you want to do it, but we always just make the base with the vegetables so that if you are a vegetarian, it's another thing that you can roll into the restaurant and get. But whether you're getting the shrimp gumbo or you're getting the chicken and sausage, you're adding shrimp, I'm blackening and grilling the shrimp, the sausage, and the chicken. There's no shrimp in there, obviously.
Yeah, I would have smelt it and I would have tasted it.
To order. So you're getting the same portion of protein in the gumbo every time. It's seasoned well, but it's not over seasoned. It's absolutely at the point where if you want to throw a shake or two of Tabasco in it, you can.
But it also has a nice little hint of spice towards the end.
Yeah, it's at the back, and that's
and that's what you get. And one thing I gotta say is, as I'm over here smacking in people's ears, and I apologize, but I just wanted you to hear with my throat sounding the way it sounded.
Right.
How good this gumbo is.
It's pretty tasty.
I had to edit myself out right there.
It's pretty tasty.
Because,
and then listen, and to be fair, like Cajun people from the islands, from the coast, listen, I'm not trying to have a gumbo peeing contest with you. You know what I'm saying? I would not enter a gumbo contest, you know. But it's a solid gumbo. Like it hits all the notes. You get the phyllo, you get the things, you know. And so yeah, it's just a good, solid, right down the middle of the road gumbo as far as I'm concerned.
No, it is, and I'm not just saying it because you're here in the studio with me, but I'm saying it because it is rare. Like, I've eaten some good gumbo,
Sure.
but not all gumbo is good gumbo.
No, that's very factual. It can be terrible.
It can be very terrible, and yeah, I've tasted some very bland, very watery, very unflavored, unseasoned, as some way say, gumbo, and yeah, this is good. Now, look, during this time of year, it's always good to have something to help warm your body.
Well, and this is the thing. This is where we put the Chubb Fathers twist on it.
Okay.
Is that my favorite way to eat gumbo is not actually over rice. It's over French fries.
And how come you didn't do it with this one, man? You know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to help you watch what you eat.
I am. Look, I'm watching what I'm eating, like right now as I'm stuffing my face. Like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, and we've had this discussion about, like, I felt like I could give you a fairer representation of just the gumbo. Then, you know, had I brought you the gumbo fries, I would have had to ride with the fries for 25, 30 minutes, getting steamy so they wouldn't be crisp. And you'd be like, well, hell, if they're not going to be crisp,
they're not going to be crisp.
You might as well just sell me a crinkle cut fry.
Look, all this gravy. This is like, you know what I'm going to say? This would have been Alabama versions of poutine if you would put the fries on that.
Yeah. I mean, we do it. We call it gumbo fries.
Man, come on, man. I need that.
So we do it. Like, when we have gumbo, we absolutely 100%. I can pull pictures of gumbo fries on my phone right now from 5 years ago.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, and JD, you could chime in, you know, on this as well too. But I think especially if you got good fries, it don't matter if it's crispy or soggy because it's soaking up all that goodness. A good fry is gonna be a good fry.
Right.
So I mean, I don't think I would have been like, oh my goodness, how come my fries ain't crispy? I still would have enjoyed it because I like your fries. I'll eat your fries cold.
I am very interested in getting some in JD's trap there because you know, him being from the Mobile area, you know, lots of gumboers down there. And when I suggested to him that my favorite way to do gumbo was over French fries, he was like, I never really thought about that, but I bet you it's pretty good. That was actually his comment. He was just like, "You're gonna put it over some crinkle cut." You know what? You better be careful what you ask for, because you may just get yours with some crinkle cut fries. I know, and I wish I didn't either. Like, I wish I didn't have such a animosity towards crinkle cut. I'm not too good for them either. And if they're cooked right, they're tolerable to me. But the problem is that, like, when you go to the fast food joints that sell them and the food trucks that sell them, you get several soggy ones in every batch. Well, and like, I can stand beside that as a carrier of sauce, but like, good French fries, you shouldn't have to dunk them in a bunch of crap for them to be great French fries.
I feel you, dog. I like it.
He's feeling that bowl of gumbo sitting in front of him. It does stick better to the crinkle cuts because it's got the little gold holders in it. It's like a sluice box. I love that. Amy must not be there yet. We got time to go to bread, or do we need to go to traffic?
You said bread?
Brett.
Oh, Brett. We go to Brett.
All right. Yeah, whatever helps me eat this finish this little bowl of gumbo in front of me. Brett, what's up, brother? I did. I actually have put it over top of our potato salad, which is sour cream based and kind of tastes like a loaded baked potato. I have eaten it over our potato salad. I have heard of other people eating it over other potato salads, but I have not personally tried it. What's your take on it? Right. Does it was it mustard? Was it it was a mustard based potato salad? Okay. Right. Right. But it's like I love brown gravy over top of our potato salad. It's crazy good.